What is up, everybody? Joe Everest, fence expert, here to recap another episode of Unhinged, the search for Lucky Pickett, with the one, the only, Matt the Miracle. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, Joe. We just got done recording the other one. We're doing this back to back, so I'm still in this undisclosed. I'm in Texas. I'm down in Texas, but I am doing some high tech research. And I got to tell you, Joe, the more I do this, the more I just really enjoy learning new things and new products and new and innovative ways to do stuff. I love to be innovative.
I think that's an entrepreneurial thing, right? I think a lot of us business owners have that drive to some extent, right? Where it's figuring out riddles.
Yeah,
figuring out riddles. It just get figuring them out, right? And so that's what my team had told me. This is, I don't know, a year or so ago. We were in growth, and then we plateaued because I was like, all right, let's catch up. Let's catch our breath before we push again. But what we learned is I don't do good maintaining. And so what I started doing is creating whole new riddles to solve. You know what I mean? They're like, Joe, we don't need to reinvent this. This is good. Like, yeah, but it could be better, don't you think?
Yeah.
But
it's a little bit of what Unhinged is also, right? Unhinged is something new and innovative. And it's a different idea. And we're going to definitely do 2 seasons, and then we're going to see how everybody likes it. If we have enough calling for a 3rd season, maybe we'll do a 3rd. But right now, it's time to dive into episode 7.
Episode 7 out of 8.
Yes. And by the way, I know nothing about 8. I have no idea how this. So we are right now at the point where all I know, and they haven't even told me, and they're not going to tell me, I have to listen to it at the same time all of our listeners listen to it.
Exactly. At the end of this recap, you will know what we know.
Yep.
And then we will all experience it next Tuesday when episode 8 drops. We'll all hear it together for the first time.
And then you and I are going to do a live recap on your Saturday morning with Joe.
Yep. So next Saturday, which actually this is Thursday, so a week from this Saturday, the 15th,
right?
We're going to be doing the live recap of episode 8, but then also just the whole season 1. Probably just start at the beginning and walk our way through the journey, because I have a feeling, you've been better at this than I have about picking up like little nuances that are kind of hidden right under the surface. For example, last recap, we learned that Ben Post is also a carpet cleaner. I missed that.
Yes, he is.
I missed that. I mean, of course he is, right? He's like a pro-am bird watcher and a part-time, or he's almost a lawyer.
Right.
He's like 1 or 2 courses away.
We also learned that one of the big things that the mayor did was added the second light with a turn arrow.
The first left turn arrow.
First left turn arrow.
She campaigned for it and got it.
She got it done.
Now, this mayor, I don't know what to think about this mayor, because in episode 6, so we're doing a little flashback here. Episode 6, the spotlight kind of turned on her when we heard there's an allegation. Well, not an allegation. There's a recording of her telling Lucky to drop out of the race before something bad happened. Something bad happened. Where's Lucky? She moved the spotlight off of her by pushing it onto Jackson, which not a fan of that idea.
No, I figured you wouldn't be.
But then at the end, so where we left it was we learned that, we learned a couple things. One, that the mayor had nope. Yeah. I almost pulled a Matt there. Luckily, my notes kept me from doing that.
Wait a minute. No, in episode 6,
I'm looking at my notes right now because I don't want to. We learned she did threaten Lucky. She threatened Lucky, and then she tried to push the spotlight off onto Jackson, which Jackson explained the only reason his wife was over at Lucky's place was they were doing voice lessons.
Yeah.
Sheriff arrests Billy. There's a scuffle. Sheriff arrests Billy. Okay, I almost pulled him out there. We backed it up. But
okay, so now we're deep.
we're Billy's leaving jail. Billy's out of jail. So, we were talking about this beforehand. Like I said, you pick up the nuances better. The sheriff is adamant he could hold Billy if he wanted to.
Yeah.
I mean, there is an arrest report that said that he failed to follow a lawful order. And then
But he's going to let Billy go.
Yeah, well, but Billy said, well, okay, well, show me the arrest report. Knowing full well the sheriff loses everything, including his gun. So he says, all right, well, show me the arrest report. Well, if it's around here somewhere, but when I find it, it's going to say that you didn't follow a lawful command, and I could hold you for that. Okay. All right, Sheriff.
So then Billy gets in his truck, takes off.
Yep, heads back to the job site because last week we learned that they're doing well. But remember, they're doing well because they're driving post.
Right.
Billy blows up with Jackson. Jackson ends up leaving. He says, all right, well, I'm going to leave before I say something that I shouldn't, which is new to you.
By the way, Jackson's such a great guy that he forgives Billy again, comes back, and he's back to pounding post, and they're actually caught up.
Billy shows up. Not only are they caught up, they're ahead by like a quarter of a day.
Yep.
Which there's a little thing here too, right? Is knowing what your daily quota is. Yeah. Right. So the crew is not only knows that they're caught up, but they know what their quota is per day. They know where they are in the project. They said, hey, we're ahead by a quarter of a day and we're gaining.
Yep.
Jackson, Billy said, hey, Jackson, what are you doing here? Jackson says, well, I heard through the grapevine. I mean, this is a small town. So Noire is not a big place.
No.
So, of course, Jackson heard about it, probably down at the cafe, and decided he was going to come. He was going to help out Billy. Billy needed help, and he didn't tell the guys, which that is definitely a Jackson move. That pitch in and help, but don't tell the guys. Nobody needs that embarrassment.
Right.
So,
okay. So where are we at, Joe?
And we forgot to mention Corbus is gone for good this time. The AI tool that scans people in left because he was on vacation 2 episodes ago.
Right, but now did he find a love affair or something?
No, it was like a online like travel guide chatbot or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so they're traveling the world. They're traveling the world. Right. Good luck to that cute little couple. But so caught up ahead of schedule. We learned some interesting little tidbits of information here, though, because if you remember, so Ben Post is also an investigator, of course, as one is. Yep. And he found out that the land. So Billy had asked, I think 3 episodes ago, asked Ben, hey, look in to see this new 500 acres. Like, who sold that to Scarecrow? This just came out of nowhere. 500 acres in this town is a lot, right? So, like, where did it come from? Ben Post comes back and says he found it out. It was sold by a shell corporation, which was named Shell Corporation. The Shell Corporation was called Shell Corporation.
Shell Corporation.
LLC or something, incorporated maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So which is often because they go back and forth on that. And then when he calls his wife.
Yeah, he calls Waverly. Yep.
She's like, what's the name of the company?
It's a Shell Company.
Shell Company.
Or corporation, yeah.
But what is the name of the company? That's the name.
Shell Corporation, Inc. Yeah. Which then she puts on her detective hat, because if we know anything about Waverly, she loves a good mystery. She's invested in this thing. Of course, she's got the tools to figure out who's the one that originated this Shell Corporation.
Cedar
Enterprises.
Right. That's
who what we know named Cedar. Sheriff Sheeter. Well, now Sheeter. Sheriff is Sheeter, but it's Cedar Enterprises. All right. Well, let's not jump ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Billy jumps onto this. I mean, and Billy's been doing this the last few episodes. He gets a tidbit of information and
he runs with it.
Jumps all over it. He goes, I know, I've solved it. So he says, hey, where's the sheriff? Well, it's bowling night. He's at the bowling alley. Where's Billy go? Straight to the bowling alley. Because he's jumping on this assumption, which we covered last time. You know what they say about assumptions or assuming.
Right.
It's not a good idea.
It's not very good.
That's one of the things they say about it.
Especially if you split it up, it's definitely not a good idea.
Don't do that either.
Hey, but get this. I love the sound effect when the sheriff bowls the frame and Billy yells at him and the ball hits the gutter, rolls down the gutter and against the wall.
Hits the back wall. Blows up Sheriff's perfect game. It was the last
and now
frame.
He's pissed. By the way, once again, Brad and his team that produced this series did a great job of adding these little things. I mean, I could have never pulled this off without Brad and his team. But so then they get into a knockdown, drag out fight.
Yes.
And you brought this up. I didn't even catch this until you said it just now. That the sheriff would have won had he not had his bowling shoes on.
Yes. His flat-soled, slippery bowling shoes. It would have been a lot different if you hadn't had those bowling shoes on.
Yes.
Because what we found out, though, was so in the middle of this, so Billy says, I know it was you I know you did something here because Cedar Enterprises sold this land to Scarecrow.
Yep.
And Sheriff says, well, that's not me. I mean, and then we kind of put together Sheriff Sheeter, and this was Cedar Enterprises, but we could see how somebody's trying to play the little manipulator. Who do we know in this town that likes to be a manipulator?
Could be the mayor, right?
Good chance, because then Ben pops up and says, wait a minute. I was cleaning carpets for a lady or for somebody. I got paid to clean some carpets by Cedar Enterprises. It wasn't the sheriff, though. That was the mayor.
Yeah.
And that's when
it was probably not a carpet. It was probably cleaning her rug, her Persian rug. It was probably the Persian.
There at the office that Billy tracked mud in on.
There you go.
Probably that same one. So Sheriff gets pretty upset, and Sheriff says, well, I think I'm owed both an apology and redoing that 10th frame.
And it comes on the intercom.
Not going to happen.
Against league rules. Hey, So I am right now at the point where I think the mayor is 100% behind this whole fiasco.
Yep.
And I think that she knows where
Lucky's at.
Lucky is at, and I think she's the one that is trying to get. I think Lucky got too close to the mystery. So this whole time I've been trying not to say what I think it is, but I'm convinced that it has to be the mayor.
Now here's some things. So 3 or 4 episodes ago, we got into Lucky's house. There's a board up on the wall that had a bunch of yarn connecting dots to dots to dots. The thing I keep thinking about. So the mayor was there with the word ally next to it with a question mark. And at first, I thought that meant that she was an ally to Lucky Pickett.
She's an ally to Scarecrow Tech.
To Scarecrow.
I'm telling you.
Maybe.
I'm telling you. And the only reason why I say this is because now that everybody's listening to episode 7, and I don't really know so if I'm right, I want everybody to know that this is not me spilling the beans, that I actually put this together in my investing mind.
Good one. Nice callback. Yeah, that's the
okay.
thing.
So where are we at now? All right. So let's. So now he leaves the bowling alley.
Yep.
What happens next?
So he calls Waverly, kind of give her the update. Waverly needed a little bit of a distraction because this kid of theirs, who is like a hide and seek champion that we learned in the very beginning, got away from the chaperone at a school trip and wound up climbing up the dinosaurs.
And it went viral.
It went viral all over social media. Yep. So Waverly had just gotten off the phone with the principal. Needed a little bit of a distraction. He tells her this, but I think we found out the reason she really needed a distraction. She drops a bomb on Billy. Line of credits are done. They're tapped out. Well, she said line of credits tapped out. He said, well, which one? Which means there must be several.
Right.
All of them. None of the banks will extend any more credit. They are shut off.
Yep.
Billy says, well, what are we going to do about the materials that are coming tomorrow? Right. And they've got, I mean, I'm sure there's other bills too. I mean, you've got payroll that's running on all of this. We're staying at a hotel this likely, or motel that's likely costing money.
Well, Joe, what about the mortgage? What about the gas bill? What about the
Right.
electric bill? What about school lunches? What about
how's he going to get home?
This is tough. He's in a tough spot.
Yeah, agreed. So, you know, this is a good conversation to have, right? Is how did Billy let this get so far out of control that he didn't know his line of credits were tapped out or in jeopardy of being tapped out before? Now, his wife seems like she's the business manager, right? Because they talked about this earlier about she was going to go reach out to banks and see what she could do because bills were coming in. So she must get the bills. But still, Billy should be in this conversation, right? Like he should at minimum be having a conversation about where are we, you know, with our numbers, that sort of thing, which reminds me what we forgot to talk about in the beginning. As Billy's leaving jail, Matt the Miracle pops in with a segment about knowing your numbers.
Right. In the Friday reports. This truly is something that we started doing at Empire early on, where I would have Sarah every Friday afternoon, preferably after lunch and before too late in the day, send me the Friday report of the AR report, the AP report, and then our balance sheet. And I would look at that every single Friday for about 30 minutes to an hour. And then I would put it away. I would let it just kind of sink in, and I wouldn't freak out. I wouldn't panic. And then Saturday mornings, I always, and I still do to this day, Saturday, I spend about a couple hours really diving in our numbers and trying to forecast. And Joe, this is such an important thing. So right now I'm doing this series it's called You versus You. And I'm doing this in our company because we are to blame for most of the things that go right and wrong in our lives.
Yep.
It's up to us to decide that we are going to know our numbers. It's up to us to look in that crystal ball and say, where are we going? It's up to us to be innovative and share ideas with our people. It's up to us to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable and we hold our people around us accountable. They always say that you're the average of the 5 closest friends, and that you can guess your bank account if you know the other 5 your friends' bank accounts. So what I love about this is that Billy now is in a tough predicament, saying, "Uh-oh, what do you mean we're out of money?"
Yeah.
And now it's almost too late.
Oh,
now
yeah.
they're going to figure out how to pay their bills when they've got overextended. And this was the whole point of the Unhinged business message. The message of business behind Unhinged was to talk about all the stress that we go through as business owners, and all the distractions that we have, and how sometimes we lose focus of where we're at, and then we have to pull ourselves back and get refocused and dive in and get the numbers. So I think that our team, Brad and all the writers did a great job of leading us up to this point.
Yeah.
Of stressing us out over everything in life.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden the bomb, the nuclear bomb is dropped. We're out of money.
Yep.
What are we going to do? Billy,
right.
We are broke.
It's done. Game over.
And you can tell in her voice that this is no more funnies. This is no more tell me about the mystery.
Yeah.
We need to focus on how are we going to pay our bills. And I'm going to tell you, that is the point that, and by the way, I think it's coming right now. I think in our industry right now, we're going to feel some tough times. It's the economy. I don't know if the economy is going to get worse, but I know that the economy has been good for a long time, and sales have been easy, and we've gotten a little complacent. And we're going to have to buckle up and get down. And it's me, I'm talking about me, you versus you. You have to look in the mirror and say, I got to figure out how to get a larger line of credit. I've got to figure out how to cash flow this. I've got to figure out how to maybe take one line of credit that you have and move it over to an actual 4-year loan and make payments on it and grab another line of credit and push it forward, which is very scary because now you're going in debt even further. But if you don't know your to asset ratio, then you're all messed up, right? That debt to asset ratio tells you, are we over leveraged or under leveraged? These are all business things that we need to talk about. And this is why I love what's going on in our industry with all the coaching. I was just down here in Texas talking to Robert Whitaker, and he's coaching all these guys, and they're talking about knowing your numbers. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I would have loved to have that when I was first getting going, because I had that nervous pit in my stomach. So that's really, I think, what the Unhinged is all about, is managing your business while there's a missing person mystery going on, while children are climbing the dinosaur, while people in the local town might be mad at you, while you go through your different level of emotions as a business owner. We've seen Billy go through so many different highs and lows, and he accused this person of this, and he yelled at this person, and he got in a fight with Jackson, and he wasn't open to a new, fresh idea. And that's what Unhinged is all about, Joe. That I think they did a good job, and I'm glad that the episode 7 ended on knowing your numbers.
Absolutely. Well, it's a great. Everything's starting to come together.
Yeah.
Right. So we can feel. I mean, we know that there's one episode left, so the story's going to get tied up, or it isn't, I guess. But because we know there's a season 2, so can't fully get tied up, I suppose. But you can feel like it's coming together. Same thing with Matt the Miracle's talks that he's giving us, is those are all kind of coming together too. Everything's gelling together, putting together the business story or the business advice with the story.
Yep, very good. I think that's a good wrap on number 7. I think it was one of my favorite episodes. I really enjoyed it because I finally got to the point where I'm like, okay, it's the mayor. I know it's the mayor. And now I'm having fun enjoying that. Now, tell me, Joe, real quick, who do you think kidnapped Lucky?
Well, we don't know he's kidnapped.
That's
what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? Like, this feels like one of those stories because there's some outliers here, right? Like, Lucky's truck got found in the woods with the sheriff's jacket. That never really got explained, like why the sheriff's jacket, at least not that I can remember, why the sheriff was out with Lucky, or why Lucky had his jacket, if he wasn't with him, out in the woods at Scarecrow Tech. So
you think maybe he's not missing, or there's any funny business that maybe he's just forgot where he was at?
Well, I don't know. So the voice lessons, like the singing, was it voice lessons or singing lessons? I think it's voice lessons, right?
Voice lessons. Yeah.
So that's leading us somewhere. So
see, I think that's a distraction. I think the writers are distracting us.
And it could be because we've already gone down some dead end trails here. So, I mean, that's the thing. Both of those could definitely be just dead ends that are just left there to confuse us. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely something going on at Scarecrow, right? Because we've heard animals screaming. We've had earthquakes that take out fence. That was apparently a testing error or something like that, an error in the testing system. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. There's something going on, right? Because usually where there's smoke, there's fire. And everyone in town thinks Scarecrow's bad business. So there's probably something. The level of security at this place that knows like your iron levels and your blood pressure and all that.
And how full your bladder is.
Right. We missed that one. Yeah, because he had a shy bladder there at the jail. Didn't really want to go there. But yeah, so it's like this level of security is a bit, suspect, like something's probably going on. I don't know. But yeah, so maybe he was kidnapped. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe it was, maybe he got fed up with all this small town drama and decided he was going to leave for a while.
I think the mayor hired Ben to kidnap him, to get him out because he was getting too close to finding out that the mayor sold the land to Scarecrow Tech. You think that Billy is just kind of, Lucky is just kind of lost somewhere.
And that's the thing. Like a lot of coincidences going on. Maybe he decided to leave for a while. Now,
two totally different views.
But I don't think I can go with your assumption here too, except for the Ben Post thing. Like I don't think he's involved in that.
You know why I think Ben's in it?
Why is that?
Because he cannot figure out what accent he wants to have.
It is a different one every time. All the time. But see, we suspected Ben for a while, but then because he got into it with Lucky very verbally, and then he was found sneaking around his house.
Yep.
But that was all because of the sewing machine.
I'm telling you, I think Ben and the mayor are in cahoots together, and those are the two that sheriff is going to finally, and the sheriff is going to say, I knew it all along. I think
the sheriff's in on it somehow too, because he doesn't.
No,
you don't think so?
He's too much of a dingbat. He there's no way he would have already screwed it up.
But why did he throw it? Well, I mean, maybe he didn't throw it, but listen, if you're gonna throw something through a window that's like half written and you got to turn it over,
Ben Post threw that brick. You better believe it, because he's probably a Mason. I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this, and I really don't know.
Okay, now we've got a few days to mull this over and figure this out, I guess. But guys, so season 2 is going to come to an end with season 1 is going to come to an end at episode 8 on Tuesday. You guys are going to listen to it at the same time we're listening to it, or it'll be available to you at the same time it's available to us. We'll all figure it out together, or we won't. Because that's the thing, is like, I know the level that Brad's at. Like I have a sneaking suspicion that this is going to get pushed out to season 2. Like we're going to little bit, big reveal of some kind. But
well, if it is, I have no idea that's what's going to happen. I literally, the writers have not told me anything.
So Brad, if you're watching this, maybe you just like give us a little hint or something. I don't know. No, don't do that. Let us
drop something in the comments below.
There you go, guys. So we're throwing guesses out here. We would love to hear what you guys think. Where's Lucky Pickett? What happened? Did something happen? And if it did, who's involved with it? You guys will listen at the same time we are on Tuesday. We're going to wrap up that Saturday live. Matt the Miracle and I will be coming to you to talk about what we learned or didn't learn.
That'll be Saturday the 17th, right?
That does sound right. I said 15th earlier, but it is the 17th.
Calendar. Yep, 17th. Very good.
So don't come on.
I love it.
Well, I'm sure there's some month that Saturday is the 15th, but we will not be. Well, we might be live on that one, but we're not talking about this.
Right. Well, very good. Well, I hope everybody so far has gotten a little bit of had some fun with that, and I hope on Saturday we can get a bunch of listeners to just talk a little bit of business strategy. I mean, I want to talk Unhinged also, but let's talk a little business strategy about that and where we're going. And I have an insight on where the economy is going, and I want to share it with everybody.
I love it. Guys, can't wait to see you guys there. Like I said, leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think happened or didn't happen, or who's involved, not involved, whatever. Let us know, and we'll all regroup here on Saturday to talk about it live.
I love it. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, Matt, thank you. I appreciate you making yourself available in this super secret location in Texas. Guys, for now, Joe Everest, Matt the Miracle, reminding you that good fences make good neighbors, doggone it. And we'll catch you next time.